Cruz, and I approve this message.
Texas is booming. Jobs and wages are up. Ted Cruz is leading the fight for the Texas oil and gas industry. But Beto O'Rourke is no friend of Texas energy. Beto supported a $10 tax on every Texas-produced barrel of oil, and he voted against fracking and liquefied natural gas exports. Beto O'Rourke, wrong on energy. Wrong for Texas.
At Houston Methodist Cancer Center, our nationally recognized specialists are finding new ways to outsmart cancer. From screening and diagnosis to cutting-edge treatments, our leading cancer care is available at all 7 locations across Greater Houston. So you can focus on healing, surviving, and thriving. Houston Methodist Cancer Center, leading medicine.
It takes a titan to help build the places others dream of. With the tech you need and America's best truck warranty, the 2019 Nissan Texas Titan builds pride every day. America needs more Titans. You've got work to do, and we've got your truck.
Save up to $14,080 on Texas Titan, or get a low $399 per month lease on Armada.
Now the most capable tech you own is in your driveway.
A taste for chocolate milkshakes is not something you outgrow. So, having lived Atkins for years, and also as someone who's an expert on shakes, trust me on this. These are awesome. Loads of protein, lower in net carbs, and no added sugar. Just awesome.
Hello?
Hello there. Almond Joy is tropicaling.
When you need a taste of vacation, pick up.
America's oil and gas moves through 2.4 million miles of underground pipelines safely. But one of those pipelines were gone. We would need 90,000 more tanker trucks or 27,000 more rail cars every single day just to meet our energy needs. So, do you want this, or this? We move America's energy. We are Energy Transfer Partners.
It's the Fall Roundup Sale at Cavender's. Save $10 on FR work shirts and jeans by Cinch, Lapco, Wrangler, and more. And save $15 on our huge selection of famous brand work boots. Cavender's, not your ordinary boot store.
Follow Fox 26 Houston on Instagram today. Rise and shine, Houston. There's a new morning show in town. Everything you need to know before you go. Wake up with Sally Mack and Lena. Weekdays at 4 a.m. on Fox 26.
As Hurricane Michael unloads mayhem and massive destruction on the Florida Panhandle, another kind of storm makes landfall in the boardroom of Houston ISD. Will a brown on black power play leave the troubled district hopelessly divided and exposed to potential takeover by the state? In the marquee Texas Senate race, incumbent Ted Cruz solidifies his advantage with less than a month to go. Can the insurgent Democrat mount a serious stretch run, or has the Beto bubble begun to slowly burst? Here in Houston, voters asked to reapprove a street and drainage tax with passage of Prop B. But has the 8-year-old levy delivered enough protection to earn the public support? And in a move that has local Republicans grumbling, Harris County Judge Ed Emmett crosses party lines to endorse a Democrat in the race for lieutenant governor. Will it matter? And will Dan Patrick respond with payback? I'm Greg Grugan, and welcome to What's Your Point, where our panelists call it like they see it. Let's greet them. Starting us off, businessman and former Republican congressional candidate Justin Lurie. Next up, progressive commentator and attorney Nyanza Moore. In the 3 spot, Republican State Senator Paul Bettencourt. Batting cleanup, longtime super neighborhood leader Tamara Bell. Next up, businessman, columnist, and former Kemah mayor Bill King. And closing us out on the hot corner, Chicano activist and educator Tony Diaz. Let's do this. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought less than a month from an enormous midterm, amid a presidency oozing controversy and ahead of a pair of contentious city ballot initiatives. A school board coup d'etat would be the lead topic on What's Your Point. And yet, that's the case. Thursday night, and what can be aptly described as a premeditated ambush, 4 Hispanic trustees joined with board member Ann Sung to remove interim superintendent Gernita Lathan and install Abe Saavedra, who led HISD from 2004 through 2009 and left under circumstances some found suspicious. Blindsided trustees in the minority loudly accused Latino board members of naked racism against Lathan, who is African American, and had earned the support of many by shepherding chronically failing campuses back into compliance this year, avoiding a state takeover of the largest school district in Texas.
It's because she's black, Randy. She's a black female, and so they're saying since the district, it was a council member came here tonight and said since the district is 62% Hispanic, we need to have more Hispanic leadership. This should not be. It shouldn't be about Hispanic, black, white. It's about these kids.
Houston State Senator Boris Miles has stepped into the fight, saying any private conversations or negotiations among 2 or more of the trustees about hiring Saavedra could violate the state's Open Meeting Act. I turn to my panel. What is your point? I'm gonna go to tomorrow first.
First off, this was so appalling. I mean, and to see this done is unconscionable. To have someone who literally brings HISD back from the brink of disaster, and to have it, and let me tell you, when you have a public meeting, you have so many hours before you have to list what's on the agenda. So there is no coup d'etat allowed. So I can assure you they will find out this is illegal. In addition to that, the federal law says you cannot remove someone from a position because of their race. This is unconscionable. And what is very disheartening was the elected officials who came and spoke at the meeting in support of this move. Their elections are coming up. This is not that kind of city. That's why Houston is one of the most diverse cities. You can't survive in isolation. I don't care what your race is. And I know this will be corrected legally or by other measures.
Nyanza, you ready to go?
Well, yeah. So the fight was about 62% of the HISD student population is Hispanic. So when you say we need to have a Hispanic superintendent, then what about if white people would have said years ago, well, 75% of the school district is white, so we can only have white superintendents. It doesn't matter if you're black or brown. Racism is racism. This is basically black on brown crime, brown on black crime. And I think at the end of the day, whenever you have somebody that is the interim, that is doing a stellar job, that has brought, like she said, the city back from brink and having schools that are historically black schools, let's just call it what it is. It was the black schools they were trying to shut down. It was the black charter schools that they were trying to shut down. They were not trying to fund them. But when you have a coup, which is what this was, and a woman of Alpha Kappa Alpha who was a very, very well capable doctor taken over this spot, then I don't understand how you can say just because someone's an interim and is interested in applying for the permanent position that they should automatically be fired. If you're going to fire somebody the right way, then go ahead and do it with all cards up so everybody can see what you're working with. And I'm sorry, but the Browns, you have caused a war with the blacks at the wrong time, because let me tell you, when you have power like that, you must also be judicious with the minority, because it will come back on you.
Okay, I was going to go to Paul, but I better go to Tony.
Come on, Tony.
Well, this really caught me off guard, you know, and it looks bad. And let's get something straight. Racism is racism. If it's from my crew or against my crew, I need to call it out. I need to get to the bottom of this. I know a lot of the board members. I want to talk to them because it looks really bad. I find it hard to believe that that's what motivated them. But also their silence speaks volumes. Now, LULAC will be talking to the board members to see where they're coming from. But let's get something straight. Black and brown unity must prevail. I invite community members to, I'd love to meet with the African American community. I'd love Latino leaders to meet with African American leaders. And we need to set a 5-year agenda. This is a crisis. We need to come together and work through it because the majority of public school students are African American and Latino. At the very least, we're telling them that we're going to have 4 superintendents at the very least in the last 2 years. And at the very time when the Texas State Board of Education is imposing rules on our local districts that make us have to band together to ride through this, I really want us to unite. So this looks bad.
Okay, I'm going to go to Bill in a second. I got to go to Paul because in 2.5 months, state legislature is reconvening. Are you getting calls saying, what the heck's going on at HISD?
I was already planning on filing a bill about board governance at HISD because it's broken, okay? Right. The ladies are absolutely right to be righteously fired up about this. The problem is that, look, it's either incompetence or they had a walking quorum to determine a vote before the vote happened. It's one of the two, because you don't pull this type of stunt in a major community. It's got to be either one or the other. Bottom line is, I'm reaching across the aisle already because we need at-large board members, we need board governance, and Tony, I'm sorry, we've got to have top-down guidelines on HISD. They fired their auditor, they've made an enormous number of mistakes. Harvey saved them from the state takeover, and I guarantee you there's going to be an investigation by the TEA of this action. I know that for sure.
What about Kim Ogg? Do you think Kim Ogg's going to look at it, Bill?
Well, putting my lawyer hat, I cannot conceive of how this is not a violation of the Open Meetings Act. I mean, look, there's no way that suddenly spontaneously in the middle of a board meeting they decided to bring back Abe Saavedra.
Yeah, after $1 million payout.
Obviously, this was discussed in advance. So, look, I think it's going to be. I think there's going to be some kind of investigation, whether it's Kim or TA or whatever. I also, frankly, can't imagine why Abe would want to come back under these circumstances. I worked with him quite a bit at the time, and I have a feeling you're going to see him the next couple of days say, you know what, I think I'm going to pass on this. And I've got to think that this makes a state takeover of HISD.
No, it is
much more likely.
Justin Lurie, you deal with business folks from across the globe coming to Houston. How does this type of, controversy reflect on us?
Well, for the first time ever on TV, Tamara and I agree on something.
I've been gone an awfully long time.
It's a clear lack of transparency. The racial undertones that we're describing here aside, put that aside, but the process was really painful. And it's hard to sell the city of Houston. It's hard to sell Texas by saying this is the land of opportunity, it's the land of laws, it's the land of due process, if we can't handle this correctly.
All right, Tony, if you could sit down with those board members, what's the first question you're going to ask?
Well, first of all, we got to get the process on the table at the end. I mean, that's really vital because I think what's happening here is it looks like a Latino majority finally in power didn't know how to run the process. So first, get the process right. Is there something we're not hearing? We better be good. And on top, on top of it too, I am really surprised that the board members who were thinking of this have not said more about it up to now. I do want to remind folks, LULAC is going to be meeting with these board members to hear what they have to say. Again, it looks really bad, but really transparency. And really, I want to know what the plan is for this next superintendent. Because at the end of the day, I'm sorry, but the state's got a really good argument. The only way to overcome that would be to say, look, this is what it looked like. We are now united. Here's the new superintendent who across all racial lines is the most capable candidate. And more importantly, I'd love to see every community represented at the table because that's what counts.
Tamara, real quick, do you think the African-American leaders on that board will be willing to bury the hatchet after this coup?
Being honest with you, I do not believe that at all because what they justified it was by saying that she is interim and applying for the position was intimidating to applicants. Yet, when they put Abe Saavedra in this position, they said he still can apply to be the next superintendent. So they have no hold cards.
Gotta leave it there. When we return, Houston voters are being asked to re-up their investment in street repair and storm drainage. Engineer Jeff Ross is in our hot seat to make the case for Prop A. Stay with us.
Winston Churchill once said, "What type of people do they think we are? We are Texans and we take care of each other." I know of no Texan in Washington who took care of Houston better and during the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey than my friend John Culberson. John Culberson stood up for Texas and worked across the aisle to get Houston and Texas the funding we needed to make Houston strong again after Hurricane Harvey. Please re-elect my friend John Culberson.
I'm John Culberson, and I approve this message.
Good morning, Houston.
Tomorrow's here. We're Constellation. We power your home. And we do much more. Like our new electricity plan that includes protection for your AC, with alerts that will actually tell you if something's wrong, and no charge for repairs. All in one great electricity rate at constellation.com/getmore. An energy company that just sells electricity is so yesterday.
It takes a Titan to help build the places others dream of. With the tech you need and America's best truck warranty, the 2019 Nissan Texas Titan builds pride every day. America needs more Titans. You've got work to do, and we've got your truck.
Save up to $14,080 on Texas Titan, or get a low $399 per month lease on Armada.
Now the most capable tech you own is in your driveway.
Ford Build's a good vehicle. The EcoBoost, I'd have to say #1. I like the power.
It's great on gas, and I do a lot of driving. I feel like I've gotten the best for my money.
The Ford Sync, I use it all the time. I can connect with my phone. I use a lot of music apps, GPS for navigation.
Ford being the best in Texas, that's huge. I mean, it matters.
Now get 0% financing plus $3,500 total cash on 2018 Edge and Explorer.
Ford is the best in Texas.
You may have seen some of these negative attack ads seeking to scare you about what we're trying to do for this state and our country at this critical moment. Now, we can be defined by our fears, or we can be known by our ambitions. I'm confident that when we see each other not as Democrats or Republicans, but as Texans, as Americans, as human beings, there's no stopping us. That's why I'm running to represent you and everyone in the state of Texas in the United States Senate. I'm Beto O'Rourke, and I approve this message.
Are you ready to experience your new city and all of its dysfunction?
Monday night at 8 on Fox 26.
Welcome back. On November 6th, Houston voters will cast ballots on Proposition A, and by so doing, decide whether a multi-year investment known as Rebuild Houston should continue. Proponents say funding from the drainage fee has improved 1,000 miles of city streets and 500 miles of storm drains, while simultaneously paying down more than $1 billion worth of pre-existing debt and interest. Critics complain less than half of the taxes collected have been spent on new drainage projects in flood-prone Houston, while also contending city leaders have simply replaced debt retired by rebuild dollars with new debt. Here to make the case for approval is Houstonian Jeff Ross, a civil engineer with 20 years of planning experience. Jeff, welcome to the hot seat, man.
Thank you, Greg.
Okay, has Rebuild Houston delivered solid value for the investment?
Yes, I think it has. When we first introduced this program back in 2010, the city was basically didn't have any funding left for drainage and streets in the city of Houston. They had 3 years of their CIP was totally unfunded projects, and they had no more bonding capacity to go sell in order to do street and drainage improvements. There was even question about whether they had enough money to do maintenance. So this program was really a fiscally conservative program to try and get out of this process of borrowing money every year to do the same kinds of projects every year. And it's almost like taking a mortgage out of your house to mow your grass. You don't do that at home, you wouldn't do that for the city of Houston. So we figured out that one of the components was to have a pay-as-you-go program, which meant that we would no longer, we'd get to the point where we weren't paying interest, but we'd have the same amount of money then every year for projects. And Controller Chris Brown just put out a memo that said, since the program, we've paid down $623 million in principal and some $460 million in interest. Well, this program, as it matures, that $460 million will be able to go to projects and the associated expenses of projects.
And pay as you go, we're probably spending less than we did before. Is that accurate? We've heard that.
No, that's not true either, because we traditionally did it through debt financing. We sold bonds. So in 2017, when we had a bond election on a number of items, nearly $500 million worth of bonds approved. They're all for parks and police facilities and city facilities. Traditionally, 2/3 of that would have been for streets and drainage, and it doesn't have to be now.
Now, critics have said money from Rebuild has been diverted to pay for city expenses that don't have a lot to do with flood protection. Now, is that a valid complaint or is that illegitimate?
Well, I don't necessarily think it's valid, but I think it's really confusing for people because when we say streets, they just think of the surface you're driving on. But the fact of the matter is our streets are actually a very critical part of our drainage program. When we get our frequent low-intensity rainfall, all the water's in the storm sewers. You don't see it. When the rain's heavier, the storm sewers may not be able to handle it, the inlets may not be able to handle it, the bayous may have backed up into the system, and then the streets become the conduit of our water. So repaving a street and designing it so the water can actually be directed towards its receiving stream is a critical part of this. So every redesign of every street, every reconstruction of every street is actually a drainage improvement.
Okay, we've had 3 catastrophic flooding events in 3 years. How will Rebuild protect neighborhoods in the future?
Okay, the city's part of this program is to take the water from the rooftops to the bayous. So that's the city's infrastructure responsibility. It's the Harris County Flood Control District that takes it from the bayous to the bay. So Rebuild, coupled with the bond election that the voters just passed in Harris County, they'll actually work together very, very well to do this. But if the county wasn't improving the bayous, then the city would come in there, redo all their drainage, and it would still back up because the bayous didn't have enough capacity.
Now, clearly since 2012, far more Rebuild dollars have gone to that paying the debt, which is both principal and interest, than have been for shovel-ready projects. Should taxpayers be disappointed in the progress, or is it just going to get better?
Oh, it's going to get better. I think this year there's budgeted just over $300 million. In 10 years, it'll be $450 million. And that's year in and year out money available for streets and drainage. When we started this program, the city had maybe $100 million dedicated towards drainage and streets. So it's a significant improvement in a city that's aging, that had no plan, that annexed aggressively, but had no plan on fixing things and rebuilding things. And I'd venture to say it's the only city in America that's actually this forward thinking about their local infrastructure.
Okay, if voters say no to Prop A, what happens to street and drainage repair? Can we just go to the markets and do it the old way?
Well, you could, I suppose if council approved and the mayor approved, you could go back to debt financing. I would be against that because we got to the point where we were paying more in principal and interest every year than we were actually getting in project work because of the interest costs. Several of the components of this, the impact fee and the drainage fee, are actually allowed by state law. They don't need this referendum in order for any city council in Texas to be able to adopt these programs. So I don't know that they necessarily go away. So I think that mechanism is there. One thing that this charter amendment did and would continue to do is to make it the dedicated fund so the money doesn't get spent on other things. And if this fails, then the dedicated fund provision actually could go away.
Okay, Jeff Ross, thanks for your experience. Thanks for coming on What's Your Point and talking to us about Prop A.
All right, thank you, Greg.
All right, stay with us. There's a lot more What's Your Point when we return.
Nancy Pelosi has handpicked her candidate. It's liberal Lizzie Fletcher. Pelosi's PAC is backing Fletcher's campaign with over $2 million. She'll do anything to get Fletcher elected. Why? Because Lizzie Fletcher wants to expand Obamacare. More government control. That means limiting your care, increasing your taxes, and cutting Medicare. Liberal Lizzie Fletcher. She's perfect for Pelosi, but wrong for Texas. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Know what goes great with steak and shrimp? More shrimp. And you know what goes great with that shrimp? You guessed it, more shrimp. Steak and unlimited shrimp starting at $15.99. Only at Outback.
When it comes to making bones stronger, are you headed in the right direction?
We are. We have postmenopausal osteoporosis and a high risk for fracture. So with our doctors, we chose Prolia
to help make our bones stronger.
Only Prolia helps strengthen bones by stopping cells that damage them, with one shot every 6 months. Do not take Prolia if you have low blood calcium, are pregnant, are allergic to it, or take Xgeva. Serious allergic reactions like low blood pressure, trouble breathing, throat tightness, face, lip, or tongue swelling, rash, itching, or hives have happened. Tell your doctor about dental problems, as severe jawbone problems may happen, or new or unusual pain in your hip, groin, or thigh, as unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred. Speak to your doctor before stopping Prolia, as spine and other bone fractures have occurred. Prolia can cause serious side effects, like low blood calcium, serious infections which could need hospitalization, skin problems, and severe bone, joint, or muscle pain.
Are you on the path to stronger bones? If you're not sure, ask your doctor about Prolia.
My computer career, they said, forget about the degree. Let's get down to the meat and potatoes of IT, and let's get those certifications, the things that employers are looking for. With my computer career and getting these certifications through here, you have that opportunity for advancements to much higher pay. Yes, my computer career does live up to that training for a better life.
Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu. Hit the Better Life button now for your new beginning as an IT professional.
Legs feeling sluggish? That's your body calling. Answer the call with protein and iron to power those muscles. Special K protein has those muscle-loving nutrients, made delicious. Special K, powering you.
It was a shocking and shameful sexual harassment scandal. As sheriff, Adrian Garcia put his friend, with a known and documented history of sexually harassing women, in charge of investigating sexual harassment. Within weeks, Adrian Garcia's pick was harassing and bullying women again. Repeated unwanted advances, implied promotions for sex, even pulled one female employee's hair. We can't trust Adrian Garcia, and we won't forget what he did.
I've got a story to tell, and it is about a fall-like cold front that's going to be moving through the area. You can see where it's at now, extending through southeast Kansas into Oklahoma, the Texas Panhandle. That will be racing toward us as we go throughout the day today. You see some rain associated with that cold front. This is Sunday evening. Then come Monday, this will be continuing to head to the south. It seems like my graphics, there we go. It's going to continue to move to the south. Rain associated with this front. It will wash out and become stationary as we head into the day on Tuesday. The biggest headline, the cooler temperatures. Look at this, 90 degrees today. It's our last warm day for a while. 72 on Monday, in the 60s come Tuesday.
Welcome back. In a move that drew some attention this week, Republican Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller has endorsed a license plate bearing the likeness of a Confederate soldier waving a regimental battle flag. Asked if he was worried it might offend African-American Texans, Miller said, quote, "There's no profit in hiding our history or trying to rewrite history," adding, "I don't see anything offensive about it." Miller is facing Democrat Kim Olson in the upcoming election. Before we get to that, Bill King's threatened to walk off the program unless I let him respond on Prop A. All right. 2 days is going to shoot me. Go ahead.
So let me unpack this debt repayment issue for a second. When we adopted Rebuild, the city owed about $2.4 billion in public improvement bonds. This was the category supposed to be paid down. And Rebuild, and those bonds had a payment reschedule. And in fact, we've paid down about $600,000 of the principal on those bonds since Rebuild came into play. By the way, Rebuild didn't pay it down. The general fund paid it down like it's been going on for decades. Rebuild prohibited us from borrowing any more money on streets and drainage, but not for other things. So we've continued to issue more PIB bonds for things like community centers, and if you can believe, vehicles, $200 million since Rebuild got, we used to never finance those. The bottom line is they've borrowed money for other things equal to the amount that we've paid down, so we have exactly the same debt as we had when Rebuild started. Here's the bottom line, $100 million in new taxes and fees, less infrastructure spending, and no debt repaid. What a great program this has been.
Okay, Betancourt needs in, and then I'm going to go to...
Okay, this Prop A is a lockbox without a top. It's the same old rug that was sold 8 years ago. The Supreme Court threw out half of the basis for even having the tax because they said the public was egregiously, effectively lied to. So vote no on Prop A.
I got to get the Prop A guys back in. Back to Sid Miller.
Let's just talk about more racism.
Debate on Prop A.
Oh my God, Bill.
Come on, Sylvester, anybody, let's have a debate on Prop A right here on TV. Let's have it.
Debate with Bill King and Sylvester on Prop A. Right now, Sylvester, we're asking you right now to debate Bill King on it.
Okay.
I thought that deserved a little bit more time.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about Sid Miller and that
Okay,
crazy
let's talk about some more races in this early Sunday morning. Ray, so our own railroad commissioner, is the railroad commissioner, agricultural commissioner, he decided to go ahead and be the new strong arm of the Sons of the Confederate and support their bid to have a racist Confederate flag flying across the license plates of our dear drivers in Texas. Now, I'm not sure how much road rage is going to occur from this because we have had a lot of road rage just from the election. But there you go. You're posting it now. You can see the photo of the license plate. It's got the Confederate soldier. And here's the thing about it. Whenever you're thinking about generating money and you don't care about black people and how they would feel, then why don't you just go ahead and put a black man in shackles and see if that would even generate more money from those people who want